Hey, what's up? It's Jake. Man, what a night last night. A little backstory. My friend Sean came to me. He said, hey, I have an extra ticket to this Incubus concert that's coming up. Would you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'll go to an Incubus concert. So I didn't know anything about the show, the tour, anything. I didn't know who was opening. All I knew was it was an Incubus concert, and you know, I was offered a ticket. So you know, not having any idea what to expect, I just went to the show. And I've seen Incubus 3 or 4 times live. Well, last night was the 3rd or 4th time. So I knew that they put on a good show, and it's, you know, good music and stuff like that. And I didn't know who all was going. I just knew that he was going. I knew his girlfriend was going. You know, turns out there was 10 of us that went, which was pretty amazing. That's a pretty awesome group of people to go. It reminded me a lot of when I was in high school, being a teenager and getting a bunch of friends together and going to a show, hanging out in the parking lot beforehand. You know, everybody's kind of like marching into the show together as a big group. You know, everyone's laughing and having a great time. I mean, the vibe was just awesome. There wasn't any you know, sad faces. It was all just everybody stoked to be going to a show and everybody kind of hanging out. And most of the people in the group knew each other, but I didn't know anybody other than Sean. And Sean, I don't think, knew most of the people either. So it was kind of it was a thing where for some people that would be awkward or overwhelming or whatnot. But for me, I love meeting new people in a group of people where I at least know one person, so I assume that the people aren't, you know, aren't crappers. You know, I like to be around people that I think are going to be cool, and it's almost like, you know, they're cool by association when they're with other people who you know who are definitely cool. So, you know, when you meet people for the first time, it definitely can be a little, I don't want to even say awkward, but it can be a challenge to figure out what kind of person they are or what kind of vibe you're going to have together. And that's always a fun experience for me. It's just like, you know, doing a job interview or starting a new day at a new school or something like that. It's like an exciting experience. I don't look at it as, you know, this is intimidating or anything. I look at it like, oh, this is an exciting chance to meet someone new or make a new friend or whatever. So I was excited about that part. I didn't know until like the day before the show that Jimmy Eat World was the opener. I love Jimmy Eat World. I started listening to them when Bleed American came out. You know, I'm not going to be one of those guys that tells you I've been like a lifelong fan. I didn't know about them until Bleed American came out. And, you know, the single Bleed American is still one of my very favorite songs. I just love it. It's such a killer, kind of like a hard rock song. You know, when I first heard it, I thought that they were like a hard rock band, and it turns out they really aren't at all. You know, they're much more. I mean, they're rocking. They have a lot of up tempo songs and stuff like that, but they don't necessarily have like a nu metal vibe. But at the time when I first heard them, they kind of fit into that nu metal kind of sound when I heard Bleed American, the song. And so it was neat. As time went on, I grew an appreciation for, you know, the actual vibe of that band. And you know, my very favorite song by them is probably Hear You Me. It's pretty emotional for me. That song was always kind of a sad song, in my opinion. My brother died of leukemia in 2012. He was 28, and it was really hard losing him, obviously. and that song kind of just, I don't know, it reminds me of him. It reminds me of getting together with him and hanging out with him and his friends and being in town and knowing him. And I didn't know anybody else in the town where he lived. He lived in New Philadelphia. And, there's a line in that song about, there's no one in town that I know, and you gave us some place to go. And I don't know what the inspiration for the actual song was, but, for me, it was like, me and a couple of my friends could drive to New Philadelphia and just, pull up to his house, and it didn't matter what day it was. There was always, a welcoming environment. We could go in and hang out and play euchre and, kick it with some of his friends and stuff like that. I mean, I think there was a couple times I was up there that he wasn't even there, but his friends were all cool, and everybody just kind of hung out, and it was like a little community. And so when I hear that song, I think of him, and I miss him, obviously, but to hear that song live at the show was just super. It was awesome. I don't know how else to say it. It was just awesome. It was emotional, though. I was having a slight difficulty holding back some tears. It was definitely something that kind of caught me off guard. I didn't think they were going to play that song live. It's one of those songs that's sort of like a down-tempo song. I know it's a popular song, but, Jimmy Eat World definitely has enough, up-tempo rockin' songs that I thought it's definitely plausible that they could play a show that's just those kinds of songs. Because there's lots of bands out there who have a mix of kind of tempos and feelings and stuff in their music, but when you go see them live, they only play the rockin' stuff, or they only play, one type of stuff. So like if there's a band they're playing with who mostly does mellow stuff, then they'll do all mellow stuff. I wasn't sure what to expect, but so they played, Bleed American, The Sweetness, and Praise Chorus, and they played Hear You Me, they played The Middle. It was great. It was really a good show. I didn't know that so few people in our group were even aware of their existence. It became pretty apparent pretty quick that everyone was sort of down about the fact that Jimmy Eat World was opening the show, because they all wanted to see Incubus real bad, but they didn't know anything about Jimmy Eat World. So I was stoked about it, and I'm like trying to get them amped up and everything. And we go in and we have lawn tickets at a big pavilion at Blossom, which is in Cuyahoga Falls. It's kind of close to Akron, somewhat close to Cleveland. We go there, we go to the lawn. There's already a ton of people there, so we're kind of close to the very top of the lawn, like a mile away from the stage, which was still totally cool. But it was definitely going to be more of like a listening experience as opposed to a watching experience. So I'm fine with that. We sit down in the lawn, and we're all kind of getting settled in. And one of the dudes who I had never met before was in our group. He disappeared. He comes back like 10 minutes later, and he's got like tickets, and he's like, "Come on, guys," and he hands us each a ticket, and it's a ticket to the pavilion to go sit in the pavilion in seats and watch the show. And so like there's like 4 sections of the pavilion, like from front to back, and we were in the second section from the stage, which is just incredible. So we weren't very far away. Mind you, this was already like I was in the concert because my friend Sean gave me a ticket to go to the show. And then this other dude, Josh, who like I said, I'd never met him, he bought a ticket for every one of us, 10 tickets, to go to the pavilion and watch the show from there. So we all picked up all of our stuff, and we walked down to the pavilion and walked right in, and it was just a blast from that point on. We were super close to the show. We could take nice pictures and video and stuff like that. Granted, I just had my cell phone. I didn't have my GoPro or anything. So the little bit of video footage that I did get was really crappy. My phone's not the greatest. But it was just an awesome time. Everyone was super, jazzed up. There was a lot of energy. People were singing along, obviously, with a lot of the songs. And it was really, really amazing once Incubus came out. It was like the vibe was awesome, but it was like the actual level of the crowd noise was like, I don't know, just out of this world. There haven't been very many concerts I've been to that like hurt my ears when everybody went wild. There's definitely been some where that's happened, but for the most part, I haven't experienced that as much. This was definitely one of those experiences, though. It was like the moment that the lights dimmed for Incubus to come out, the place went absolutely wild. I mean, I haven't really listened to Incubus since their bass player left after Morning View, because he was like my favorite bass player in the world. Super big inspiration on me. He's one of the big reasons why I play the kind of bass that I play. He's a big reason why I play the way I play. His bass lines were super phenomenal, and when he left the band, I was pretty salty about it. I took it real kind of personally that he wasn't in the band anymore. And even though I really appreciate all the other guys in the band, it was almost like, I don't know, it was like, you ever go to a relative's house when one member of the family has just passed away, and it's like almost awkward to go there because that person's not there anymore. So like you expect to see that person sitting in the spot they always sat in, or you expect to hear their voice, or you expect to see their face, or give them a hug or whatever, and it's like painful to be reminded that they aren't there. That's how it was for me to listen to Incubus, or to try to listen to Incubus after he left. It was like painful because I felt like he should be there and he wasn't. And so I was not sure what to expect from Incubus, and I hadn't been in the loop, and I wasn't sure how the crowd was going to be. I haven't really heard too much about Incubus, compared to the way I used to hear about them, when they were putting out songs like, Nice to Know You and Stellar and Pardon Me and stuff like that. I mean, that was, to me, that seemed like that was their pinnacle, and that's probably back when I saw them last was around the time that they had those albums out. So it was a neat experience to hear everyone go nuts, and then everyone was just going nuts, singing every song they played, new stuff, old stuff, whatever, it didn't matter. It was very, very energetic and inspiring and very cool. I had a fantastic time. I really appreciated the company that we were with. The new people that I got to meet were all very cool. There was zero drama at the concert. I've never been to a concert before where there was zero drama. There's always somebody wants to fight somebody, or you can hear a couple arguing, or there's some issue with somebody getting thrown out, or sometimes it's just that people drink too much and they get a little belligerent, and when that happens, you overhear it, and you kind of, there's always that guy that's kind of off in the distance that's like super annoying and won't quit saying the same thing over and over again, that kind of stuff. There was none of that. It was amazing from start to finish, from the moment we got to the venue all the way back. And I mean, even before we got to the venue, there's 10 of us. There definitely could have been any moment where there might have been a disagreement, or somebody getting belligerent, or getting too drunk, or some other issue, and it just never happened. And I was really stoked about that, and I thought it was really kind of interesting. It was neat, because like I said, I've never experienced a concert without at least one of those kind of things happening, and that was the case here last night. So very cool, very appreciative of the opportunity to go, very appreciative of the opportunity to go sit in the pavilion, very appreciative of the fact that the bands were amazing, very appreciative that there wasn't any craziness going on, and nothing bad happened. There was no negativity. The vibe was super positive from start to finish. And you know, the only bad thing that happened all night was that I was trying to eat Taco Bell in the car in the dark on the way home, and I'm pretty sure I dropped something on my shirt and it looked like I have a stain on it. That's literally the worst thing that happened to me in the whole experience, so I'll take it. It's funny, you know, that's awesome. When that's the worst thing that happens, that's awesome. It's a good day. So, you know, try to make the most of every experience you have, and appreciate the ones that go on without a hitch. I really appreciate the friends that I've made and the people in my life, and I couldn't do half the things that I get to do without them. So kudos to all the people who look out for me, care about me, and make my life better. I love all you guys, and I'm really digging this YouTube thing. I'm not very good at it. It's kind of a new vibe for me, but I'm having a really good time with it, and I'll just try to keep it up. So thanks for watching.